Okay, hi there. Let's get right into it. 10 questions I would ask Marina Diamandis, aka Marina, formerly known Marina and the Diamonds. Question: how was your financial situation after moving to London? So, this question is because the family jewels, especially, has a lot of this really existential dread energy. I'm gonna live, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fly. Other way around, never mind. And I know little of her biography. She didn't grow up rich per se, but not poor either. Her father is a Greek professor. Her mother, I don't exactly know, but still, London is famously expensive, and millennials like her, like me, we are struggling all the time. And how has that influenced her creative work? How much could she lean into this really ironic, broke millennial, yeah, type of connections we share with each other? Second question: when did you start feeling like an adult, if ever? This is kind of similar because I have this paradoxical observation that the family jewels, even though she was youngest when she wrote it, it's like her most adult themed album. Or it's more like quite casual with dating, with romance, jaded experiences, like in obsessions. And really, I know from our own life that it isn't just a straight line, but there are setbacks and echoes, and sometimes you fake it till you make it. And I really would like to know how adult was she feeling, because it's so utterly brilliantly delivered, this existential dread in the family jewels. And it's kind of, yeah, especially with regard to relationships and sexuality, it's kind of, I would kind of assume that during the family jewels, she was feeling most adult. Third question, and I was really struggling how to phrase it, and I was really uh, putting my way around it. But do you ever worry about family members hearing your more explicit lyrics? And this is really about her relation to her father, which I would never ask directly because it's too intrusive. It's too, um, yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable. But still, like in Philosopher Mars, as in possibly Hippocrates, we don't know. And the third one I am forgetting. Bad Kids comes to mind, Scab and Plaster, especially her unreleased tracks. Her relationship with her father has been very difficult. You would assume just by the songs, we don't really know. And she is kind of judging him really harshly and probably deservedly so. But is that ever like awkward to deal with those same people again? Yeah, especially your father, because the sexual stuff, it's quite tame in comparison. It's like really, yeah, that's what young women do. That they talk about their personal lives, and I believe that's kind of expected. But really, this family dynamics, spilling the tea, spilling the beans, family jewels as another such song. Like, isn't the is sorry, I'm still interviewing her. Are you ever afraid your mother or your father might confront you on that? Fifth question. Did you feel more connection to your fans and other, I can read my own handwriting, aspiring artists such as Late of the Pia when you weren't yet that famous, like when she was really struggling and doing auditions and open mic nights and really putting all her energy in getting herself known and recognized? Like, how well did she connect with others in her situation, and how well does she remember it now, like being in this tiny bubble of struggling artists, and at the same time being very close to something uh, very creative happening, and being one of the very early persons to notice it. Like, I always feel, had I visited one of her concerts in 2009, how awesome it must have been watching her become more recognized over the years. Sixth question: how did LA change you? In This Is LA and Aspartame, you describe it as a rather, sorry, banjo's too loud, soulless place. Has that changed for the acrobatic city where the people are so grey, and her criticism of consumerism and Hollywood fake culture? It's kind of weird because the story we got from Aspartame is how she has been the lostest she's ever been in LA, and yet she did decide to move here. Yet she did Californianize in her mannerisms, in her talking points, in her culture, in her even her society commentary. And how do you think about LA today? Is it still the apocalypse as you described Hollywood Boulevard? Seventh question: what was your now or never moment, if you ever had one? And I'm not being very subtle here. This is quite directly hinting at are you satisfied the day I took the deal? My life was just about to change. Because yeah, she has been there in London in this creative, immersive bubble with so many promising young artists around her and with so much shared experiences. I imagine struggling to pay the rent, maybe struggling with landlords, struggling with money all the time, failed relationships, and uh, yeah, complicated, confusing situationships. And have you ever had the feeling this is a really unique set of conditions I'm finding myself in? And now it's up to me to make the most of it. Because this is exactly family jewels. It's all over family jewels. Yeah. I'm thinking all my questions are more or less kind of all variations of the same question. So, eighth question: the family jewels is characterized by emotional turmoil. Is it really? I should have wrote that better. Is it a form of self therapy? And really, like, this is really, I wrote the headline 10 questions I would ask Marina. And yeah, uh, because self therapy is, yeah, kind of romanticized and more profound, sounds more profound than it is, because the whole thing about therapy is having another person listening to you. So, okay, Marina, just tell us, like, just in general, how much has your emotional and mental health struggles influenced the family jewels? 9. What is Herbert the Frog really about, because we all know these lyrics. The devil likes to make my heart a double bed. He sometimes likes to come and rest his little head. Not exactly quoted right, but and I broke my glass balloon. And so, what is it really about? What has led you to writing this song? Because it's so Marina. It's confusing in all the right ways. It's like really vaguely sexual, vaguely obsessive, vaguely being possessed by a demon, scary, and yet so it's so blunt in your face, and it says what needs to be said. And she does it all the time, even more so in unreleased tracks. They can go to really adult themed dark territories. 10. Are there people you had to cut off forever? How do you feel about it? Because she, even just listening to her, she is the kindest person ever. She's really, and she has such an intimate knowledge of the human nature. I get this a lot. Like really, I have never spoken to her. She doesn't know me, but still, I can sometimes feel like she understands me better than I do myself. And really, this is really scary to be cut off from such an empathetic person. And yeah, this is, I think I imagine some really dumb as shit would have had to happen before that ever happens. I know she wrote goodbye and she ended a relationship, but I mean, like really cut off, door slam, you don't exist. Did she ever had to do this? And it certainly would not have been easy for her. Yeah. So these are my 10 questions, getting progressively worse and starting from a low point. And Marina, if you see this, maybe you would like to answer. I'd appreciate it. Bye.